you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work out?
That doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
flex, now I'm flex. Got cans open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts. And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work out?
That doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
flex, now I'm flex. Got cans open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts. And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
flex, now I'm flex. Got cans open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts. And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
flex, now I'm flex. Got cans open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts. And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
flex, now I'm flex. Got cans open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts. And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
flex, now I'm flex. Got cans open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts. And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
flex, now I'm flex. Got cans open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts. And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
flex, now I'm flex. Got cans open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts. And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
flex, now I'm flex. Got cans open that purple.
check, Mike,
Got
check.
model bitches.
These are facts. And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Gaming Daily Live. Today we have a crazy episode for you. Of course, as always, my name is Icy Gaming, your host for today's festivities, in my custom 1-of-1 Wolvesdow shirt, special edition, because we have Peyton, the patron of the pups. Man, I can't talk today. Why can't I talk today? I'm a little out of focus, and that's kind of like messing with me. Hold up. I think we got to fix that. Hold on. We got to fix. Okay, that's a lot better. Also, there's like, my shirt's like got a little spot on it. Llama, the listener, Peyton, the patron. I love that. I love it. Guys, welcome to the new time. Thank you for being here. Llama, I appreciate you. Good morning. Literally, sunshine. Appreciate you for being here. We are doing the new format, so I'm so excited to kick this off. Peyton will be joining us in about 25 minutes, which does not give us a lot of time to go over all of today's news. And we got some bangers to talk about. I said I only wanted to do like 2 or 3 topics, but as always, kind of turned into quite a bit more. Let me pull up the show here. Let me just get that there. And so, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Oh, I don't have this shared, do I? Okay, we got to go here. And then I got to pull up the right Twitter view. I also tried desperately to get this the chat on the stream, but it was not working. So hopefully it wasn't working the way that I wanted it to. So hopefully tomorrow we can get that straightened out. So I do apologize, and I appreciate you guys being patient with that. Eagle in the building. Good to see you, brother. I appreciate you tuning in. Guys, today's episode is brought to you by none other than Yield Guild Games. Right on time, Mount Doji. I appreciate you. You guys already know YGG is the best guild in all of crypto gaming. They're one of the few that is still pushing the space forward, doubling, tripling down, providing opportunities not only for gamers, creators, but games through their publishing. YGG Play, publishing incredible games like Giga Chad Bat, Lowland, and their newest game, Waifu Sweeper, which it is Waifu Sweeper week, where they got a quest of the day on Giga Chad Bat. Check that one out. And then they got a bunch of stuff going on for Waifu Rush. But we'll talk more about them at the end of the show. Guys, let's just jump right into it, man. Right into it. Highguard shutting down after like 5 weeks. The internet is going crazy. They really were Concord 2. They are officially shutting down on March 12th. They said today we've made the difficult news. They've made the decision to permanently shut down. More than 2 million players stepped into Highguard, shared feedback, created content. Despite that, they have not been able to build a sustainable player base to support the game long term. The servers will remain online until March 12th. We hope you'll jump in with us one more time to show your support. The team is excited to release one final game update to enjoy in the remaining life of the game. We'll be adding a new warden, a new weapon, account level progression, and skill trees. They really, like, the people building the game really wanted to build the game, and like even they worked on this stuff. So I guess they're like, yeah, why not release it, right? Pretty sad to see. The game released on January 26th. It has been literally 5 weeks. But, you know, they're kind of getting torn apart. So not without good reason. Knock said this in a private chat. He said, for the uninitiated here, their go-to-market plan was five things. Final slot at the Game Awards, then radio silence for 3 months, fire the team 48 hours after their launch, and then close the game. Not even, he says 60 days, not even 60 days. It's like 45 days after the game launches, and then they're blaming the players for not liking it. Pretty sad. I saw this post from Grums, who, you know, former producer on StarCraft, OG World of Warcraft team lead. He says, listen, this is what happens when you don't develop your game with a critical eye and just believe that your toxic, positive dev friends tell you. He says at OG Blizzard, we would have the most intense arguments about the game that we made, and they had a rule. Nobody would get fired for speaking their minds. He says we fought, but we came together for what's best for the game. He says, today we live in an age where everyone is supposed to be supportive above all else and non-critical. This creates soft games. Soft games create hard times. And hard times hopefully will create good games. I read this and I was like, bro, is he talking about crypto games? It's like, damn, dude, like you could be talking about crypto games. We are too supportive to these crypto games. We are not critical enough, to be honest. And that's why we have all these soft games, soft tokens. Yeah. This post had like 100,000 views. I mean, the post, I think this post, or I saw one post about the game shutting down, had 1 million views in an hour. Absolutely insane. But we do have a response from Chad Grenier, who is the studio head and game director at Wildlight Entertainment. He says, Grums, that's actually not what happened. We were very critical towards the project and each other. The team encouraged and constantly spoke their mind. We always tried to put the players and the game first. And, you know, at the end of the day, they made a few mistakes and they made a game that didn't resonate like their past games did. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter though. Nobody will know the true story of the studio or game, and the rumors and speculation will be what's out there. He's like 2 of 2. He's like, that's all I got to say. Really sad. Really, really sad. I mean, you can tell like he cares about this, you know. Freaking tough, man. Freaking tough. What are you gonna do? He also went on his Twitter, Chad Grenier. You can go check this guy out. He also said, like, with today's sad news, he wanted to share some more information and you know, like stuff about the game. And I actually really appreciated like these stats. You know, he gave the average session, over 2 million players played. PlayStation was their best platform. Scarlet was the most picked character. Kind of cool. Kind of a cool way to like kind of go out. Of course, very sad to go out. Japan was their largest player base. Or no. US was the largest player base and Japan was second. 92% of the people who loaded into the game completed the training mission. So, I mean, really kind of cool case study there, stats there. But ultimately a sad result. What do you guys think about Highguard shutting down 5 weeks after their launch? Everyone said that they were going to be Concord 2, and they were. Very, very sad, but we have to move on. Where one fails, maybe another can succeed. Marathon is coming in 2 days. 2 days. They're like, yo, Marathon, March 5th. And they dropped what can only be described as one of the best pieces of gaming cinema we have seen in 12 months. I mean, their videos are insane. We're just going to watch we can't spend 7 minutes on this, but just a little bit, man. You guys got to see this. Oh. I'm getting like Arcane vibes, dude. First of all, I have to say, I remember when their first cinematic trailer dropped, I reacted to the thing. I think Peyton and I might have reacted on Ready Up. And it was just like, oh my gosh, I was blown away. I was like, I want to play Marathon. This is insane. This is a world that I want to live in. I was into the art style, the graphics. I love the world is insane. In death, we've just begun. Oh, banger. This is what gaming is, man. Kind of Arc Raider sounds a little bit. Anybody else? Oh, sick. Amazing. Fire. So good. We'll skip ahead. Try and get some more. I mean, you guys gotta check this out. Gotta check out the full 7 minutes. We can't watch it here, but banger from Marathon. Highguard shutting down March 12th, March 5th. We're getting the release of Marathon. GG's. Okay, guys, moving on to the next topic. Huge story today. Massive story. Power token drops 90%. So much so that even CoinGecko posted about this. This is wild. You don't want to get CoinGecko'd, man. You don't want to get CoinGecko'd out here. By the time that this was posted, they were only down to 55 cents. They are now down like 70%. No, my friends. They're down 88%, down to 23 cents from like a high of almost $2. Perfectly as predicted. A lot of people predicted this. We were calling it out. We were talking about it. It wasn't sustainable, wasn't good for the crypto industry. A lot of people were critical. Some people were shorting. Shout out to Apple. I think he made like 200% shorting the token. Major issue here. CoinGecko reporting on the Ronin bridge and some of the issues there. We also had I guess that's really it. Not good. I think someone had it was Apple. Apple had posted like crime is over. I don't know what. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, we've seen some crazy things in crypto, right? But to pump a token like 4-5x for it to just dump 90% in like a few hour candle is insane. I mean, I hope that no one got wrecked on this. I guess anyone that was like buying the token at 50 cents and 60 cents because you could buy it at 60 cents on Ronin. Hopefully no one got wrecked on this. Bad. These are the kinds of things that you don't expect to see from Fableborn. Like, I don't know. I'm very bewildered, befuddled, bamboozled. Shout out to Sam Stefanina. I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of this. The haters are hating. The supporters are supporting. I'm like in the middle. Like, I know the game. I know the team. I like them. I know they're good people, but I don't know what all this. I don't know what all this fuckery was, man. I don't know what it was, dude. I don't know. Like, what, like, I even posted about it being like, oh damn, like the token's up, and now I look like a fool, and people were in my comments and DMs being like, why are you supporting such like a blatant thing? And I was like, oh, dude, I woke up and the price is up. I'm learning about it now. Like, damn. And then I spoke about it on stream. Not cool, not good. With that said, they are also ending their Ronin validator as a part of like the Ronin becoming an L2. So there is your Fableborn validator news. Yeah. And with that, we will transition to talking about Ronin's economic evolution. I think they're ending their staking rewards and they are moving towards migrating to becoming an Ethereum L2, which is very cool, very exciting. However, you guys know I do my research and I try to give you guys both sides because like I don't know. Oftentimes I don't know enough to know. And I am also like not gonna come on and I don't know, I try not to be biased. I try to present all sides and I try to do the research, not only to try and stay informed, but to help try and inform you guys. And with that, Tengri, the truth, is always calling out Ronin. Sometimes, he crosses lines, but other times it's like, hey, does he have like a point here? And he shares that, yes, becoming an L2 is great, but kind of got to look at these tokenomics, and he's been calling out the team for selling and dumping the tokens. And so, yeah, there's a good post here. 2 days ago, they dumped over, allegedly, according to him, according to this, I mean, it is on the blockchain. He's coming with receipts, but I haven't personally gone in and looked at it and verified it, but they dumped over 1 million RON from the Eco Fund through BitGet. So, you know, it's pretty tough for the Ronin token. It's tough for all tokens, man. Listen, I was a buyer of Ronin. I was a buyer of Prime. I was a buyer of AVAX. I'm down bigly on all of my buys. So it is what it is. We got to move on. The other big story that we wanted to talk about today, Cambria's pre-sale has only generated $600,000 in deposits. Is that good? Is that underwhelming? Bullish or bearish? Let's talk about it. So their target is 3 million at a $30 million FDV. We've covered their token economics at large, and I wasn't in this. I'm in the States. So I tried to like go to the website yesterday. I couldn't go, so I couldn't see the details. So big shout out to YP. 600K. Some are calling it bullish. Some are saying like, yo, like Vietnam Penguin saying one of the top Web3 games by pretty much every metric right now, trying to raise. But after the first 12 hours, they've raised a bit over 500K. 1 to 2 years ago, this would have been oversubscribed 10 to 20x already, with expectations of a 10x at TGE. Pretty wild where we're at. Now, Raiden says, hey, people are asking me if I'm serious about this. And he's like, listen, I'm choosing to believe, and we're going to see how it goes. And Apex says, dude, any small gaming studio would be ecstatic to raise that much money from their community for their game. It's only in crypto that this is seen as a failure. Apex says, I think Cambria is doing a lot of the right things, no matter how much commitments they get in their ICO. And if you believe their degen gaming thesis, the sale details are very attractive in his opinion. I am inclined to agree. Right? We talked about this. We liked a lot of what they were doing. Ice and Dark in the building. Jorge in the building. We got a bunch of people coming in and chatting. You love to see it. KAE, Ducking. Good to see all of you. Thank you all for being here. AE with the 1 of 1 shirt. You know it, baby. You know it. Darren Glover, the legend. Vayner Media, now CEO of Clicks Gaming. The legend. If you guys don't know Darren Glover, you need to get to know Darren Glover. Thank you for tuning in to the show, brother. Honestly, Darren, I would love to have you as an interview on the show sometime. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Darren says, I agree with Apex. 600K in early stage investment for an indie game is surreal. Yes, absolutely. But that also doesn't negate the reality or the point that Vietnamese Penguin was kind of making. Like, in crypto gaming, we would have seen much more demand when there was high speculation and the market was frothy, which, you know what? You can argue that that was unhealthy. And this actually is way more healthy and way more maybe where we should be. And, you know, so it's interesting. It's interesting. I will caveat this, though. It's not, I mean, yes, it's like 600K for their game and their team and everything, but it's also a token pre-sale, right? Like, people are buying into the token economy. Now, again, we did a full deep dive into their token economy. We're not going to do it again here, but I do like the way that they have set up their token economy. And I do think it's very much aligned. And the sale, I think, is going on for maybe another 24 hours. So it's not over. We will continue tracking this, and we will see how it ends up. But appreciate y'all. We're going to keep it going, guys. We're going to keep it going. Jorge, you're going to like this one. Off the Grid concluded their Pioneer Cup championship with Colty. Big shout out to Colty X on Twitter, walking into Teardrop solo, no squad, no safety net, and walking out with the Tacoma Pioneer, which like sells for a lot. I haven't checked the price lately, but Those were selling for a lot of money at one point in time. Big shout out to Flaw Gaming with another flawless tournament, and very, very cool. Suffer As I Have TTV came in second with $100. Dark Helix came in third with $75, and Space Ninja took home $25 for fourth place. I love gaming tournaments and energy like this, so GG's to them for that. Moving on, guys. Moving on. I saw this article on Blockchain Gamer. I have not seen any updates on their Twitter. Maybe this is something in the Discord, but apparently Thousands has revealed a token. We are getting a Thousands token. I was not who art thou? Where art thou? That's now that you say that, thou token, thou, you got that thou? Like, not the worst ticker, not the worst ticker. I was not expecting a Thousands token at this point. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to remember. Like, I guess it's pretty obvious. Like, yes, Thousands would have a token. I'm not sure if I was anticipating one, but apparently it's coming. This is going to be the governance token for the Thousands community and the streaming infrastructure. Playful has already launched its 100% community-focused WC token, the wildcard token. Thou will be deployed on Ethereum, but there is no yet mention of when this could happen or tokenomics issues such as total supply and vesting. According to the white paper, we do know users will earn Thou via Thousands XP system, which is really good. I think the way that they've designed their whole thing is great. And this is currently going live via the wildcard rollout and will be supported by any other games that use Thousands in the future. Guys, we love wildcard. We love wildcard. We want to see wildcard win. I mean, it's Paul and Katie Drake Bettner. It's like, it is it's the best that we have. Like, they're the best that we have. I haven't seen much from Thousands since since last year. They were doing their events, and their events were going really well. We covered them on Gaming Daily. I tuned in live. I bought their tickets. I don't know, but I just haven't seen much since then. So to now get like a token is interesting. We'll have to wait and see how this one develops. I will be interested. We are going to bring Peyton on in just a few minutes. I do see him backstage, but right before we do, I got two quick hits for you guys that I wanted to share. We talked about this a little bit from Wilder World. Neo from Wilder World, we already talked about them becoming an AI first studio. They've been talking about that for a while. GG's. But in this latest post yesterday, they revealed some downsizing to their team. They have now been reduced to 35 full-time members, with many existing team members moving to a contractor status and still participating. But they're just saying, like, with AI, the team is more than capable to continue developing everything that they've set out to do. So very interesting way to make that announcement. It's like, hey guys, we're AI first and we're letting go of some team members. We'll have to track other game studios. Like, this could be an emerging trend in game studios. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this one, but that is your Wilder World update. We have more team updates. We got to talk about Hytopia downsizing to 6 people. A comment in their Discord says, I'm concerned about dev progress and team activity leading up to the layoffs. I had noticed something. And Matt from Hytopia responded, the only employees left are Faxi, Honk, Takahiro, and me. We want people to succeed. We're rooting for our teams, for our projects here, but it's a little tough. It's a little tough. Sign of the times. With that, guys, we wish Hytopia well. I like their story. I like their platform. I like what they're building. They're building some great stuff. They really, really are. But with that said, guys, we've got Peyton backstage. We're bringing him on to talk about Highguard because he predicted that they were going to shut down. So we'll get his reaction. I'm super excited about that. We're going to talk about Kazuna, what he's building as a community intelligence platform on Discord. And of course, we're going to talk about the upcoming GDC events that they've got with the Wolves. So bear with me for 30 seconds. I'm going to go behind the stage and bring him on, and we will be right back with Peyton Kalevahea, the founder of the Wolves.
These are facts.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the triple.
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got mad bitches.
These are facts.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the triple.
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got mad bitches.
These are facts.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the triple.
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got mad bitches.
These are facts.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the triple.
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got mad bitches.
These are facts.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
Hey, there I am. You're above me. Is IC Trading Live? Absolutely, Jorge. He's a very talented individual.
Okay, we should have audio now. Peyton, mic check, mic
Yes.
check.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Okay, technical difficulties. Appreciate you guys bearing with me through that. I don't know what happened with my OBS settings behind the scenes. We're doing it live, Peyton.
We're doing
which
it
you
live
are
like always,
very
brother.
Used to. I am so thrilled to have on the founder of the Wolves Collective, the
appreciate
patron
it.
of the Pooches, the K9 of the K9s, and former co-host of the wildly popular, massively successful Ready Up Gaming Show.
Yes.
Which I used to be a part of, but Peyton left me high and dry, choosing greener pastures, building Kazuna, the powerful community intelligence tool for Discord. Dude, it feels good to get
Kazuna
you
wasn't
back
even
on,
announced,
man.
big dog. Kazuna wasn't even a thing back then. You left me high and dry. But you know what? Just like Michael Jordan says, I want to go out when I want to go out, when I'm on top. What a great documentary, by the way.
Incredible
If
documentary.
anybody has not watched The Last Dance, watch it 10 times over and you'll want to go through a wall.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Just like how I feel when I get to talk to you, man. It's nostalgia vibes, bringing it back. It's been too long. I don't know what I like invited you on. I was like, dude, why have I not brought Peyton on sooner? Like, what the heck?
You know, you just got to warm it up, big dog. You know what I mean? Get the kinks out. But dude, it's chemistry every single time we get on. So it's whatever. Call me whenever, when you need me, brother.
I am very excited about everything that you got going on, which we're gonna get into. We got to talk about Kizuna. We got to talk about GDC next week. The Wolves just posted their schedule of events. But before we do that, brother, we do have to talk about Highguard.
Yes,
because
sir.
You called it, man. You absolutely called it. Hold on, I'm gonna share my my thumbnail that I made here. I don't know if you saw this,
dude.
yet.
It's fire. Yeah, it's fire. Absolutely fire on it.
I mean,
yeah, dude, it's sad, you know.
So, breaking news. We talked about it on stream. Mount Doji. Yes, you are watching Ready Up in 2026. Shout out to Doji. I don't have the chat up, and Peyton can't see the chat, but we got Llama, we got Eagle, we got Jorge.
What's up, guys?
We got Darren Glover here, which I think you were watching the show, so you saw.
Yeah, what's up, Darren? Freaking Click CEO.
I know, dude.
Bad.
Crazy. So you had kind of you wrote an article a week or two ago talking about Concord, talking about Highguard.
Yeah.
And here we are, breaking news today. Highguard is indeed shutting down 5 weeks after launching. What is your initial reaction and feeling?
Well, first reaction is like, it always sucks whenever a game like that caliber gets the axe before it probably gets a chance to be able to run. A lot of my article was based around community and how it's important to be able to create a tribe that's going to defend you on your release day, right? And it's very hard. Nox said it the best, I think, in one of the gamified episodes. There was a moment in time in which that Highguard got the opportunity to be showcased on the Game Awards. Who wouldn't want to take that spot? Completely agree with Nock. But they also had a choice of being completely silent 3 weeks into the launch. Right. And a lot of people were just ripping them saying, hey, this is going to be Concord 2.0. It's trending on Reddit and all that stuff. And I put it in contrast to Supervive, which Supervive is like a really beloved game that has been released publicly out for like 2 years. You've played it. I've gotten many times and capacities to tell Icy that he should play it. Very similar to like what Icy told me in terms of Arc Raiders. There was also this Supervive, right? Once you announce the games and somebody gets into early access, it takes a while to seep for like all of the friends to be able to understand. It's like, oh yeah, this is worth playing. And that's what I did for Wolves in terms of Supervive. I like try to Supervive pill everybody to be able to play it. And they at least played with me sometime. And then you get like a opportunity to be able to, how should I say it? Have somebody that is going to defend you these days. And I think that's really what matters the most. And I think when it comes down to Highguard, they did not build up a defense mechanism at all in terms of community. And the only issue that I had too was that some people actually liked the game, except they just didn't have time to be able to mobilize and defend against the onslaught of massive community hatred. Gamers just came in and said, this game is going to fail and I don't care. I agree with him on that point, but you have to also take responsibility and be like, you're going to receive the feedback gracefully and then be able to kind of go. I think that was also more fire to the flame, to be honest, when it comes down to the response that he had. And I just watched your reaction to some of the breakdown of like what it was. And I thought that was really cool. I wish that he did that earlier because he'll make him more likable in terms of that. So
yeah, it's tough, man. It's a shame. It's kind of I mean, at this point, I'm so used to it. It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts every time, but it's also like Groundhog's Day where I feel like I'm just talking about a new game shutting down and gaming drama, which has been tough. But we're going to move on from that, man. Thank you for touching on it. But really, dude, I first of all, I love you so much. I'm so excited to see you. I'm so excited to have you on. But like, we got to talk about Kizuna, man. Share the tab. So you have been building Kizuna.
Yes.
I mean, it's been a baby in your head for almost around 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, you wanted to build Kizuna. I wanted to build Gaming Daily.
Yeah.
We have now we are well into building these projects. And so for anyone that's not familiar, man, tell us like what is Kazuna?
Yeah.
What are you building? Who is it for, and how does it help people?
Oh man, there's a lot that goes on here. It's been a brainchild of mine since Azure days. So it was one of those ones that like where there's an epiphany moment, and then it just kind of that idea that nags at you for like years, and you're just like, you know what, I just need to go out and start on it. Same thing for Gaming Daily for you, right? Like you have been talking to me about it for years of like, hey, I just really want to do this, and you need to scratch that itch, and then like just be able to grow the balls to be able to like, hey, go out and do it. And that's really what I ended up doing the last few months. But what is it on a high level? It's a community analytics and engagement software. So on a high end, analytics are very important to be able to understand your community on a deeper level. And so we help with surfacing gaming insights. So your community plays games. It also gives you the ability to be able to understand what people are playing. So you can actually see that Wolves play Highguard. You can see people play like the Marathon server slam that's the last few weeks. And you can also serve them by doing like engagement as well as like raffles and smart raffles. But all of that was really the foundation of like what was really important for me and Azure in terms of the epiphany moment was that really when it comes down to communities within like Discord, Telegram, wherever it is, they are just not connected. There's no roads to be able to communicate to communities from a project level. And so my last 4 years has been, I'm either in community, very much like within Wolves, and people telling me, hey, 300 people are not the same as thousands and thousands or millions of viewers on YouTube. Totally understand. But there's a fundamental difference between like a tribe and a community versus viewers. And then the other side is whenever I was working at game studios and I understood that, hey, a lot of people are under leveraging communities as a main distribution system. And I kind of understood that, and I sat back while like Alphabot and all these agencies like really used Alphabot plus the CRMs, which are like these lists of people and lists of communities to be able to distribute whitelists. It's like, man, the piping is there. There are actually ways in which that you can distribute product like whitelists and NFTs to all these communities that are doing these raffles and these giveaways. And it's been more sophisticated over the years as it happens. Like AP Collective has come out of it, which has like been probably the most dominant in terms of agency plus distribution model in which that they had. And so that like was inspiring to me to be able to create Kazuna. So first and foremost is analytics as well as engagement tools, which is raffles. And then moving on for that will be mostly our Kazuna network, which we're really excited about, which is really connecting the roads to all these communities for projects. But that's more down the road. And so, yeah, that's really what it comes down to on a base level. It's community analytics. You can understand your community on a deeper level. And then once you understand your community, how can you go and engage it? We use raffles and smart raffles, which helps you retain your audience as well too. So that's what I'm super excited about. And then we're going to be releasing like probably a week after GDC for a public launch because wallet integration is the last thing that's putting into the pipes, which we weren't going to put in because of Alphabot, but a lot of people are asking for it. So we're going to do it.
Okay, we'll dive more into that. I definitely
also I can't hear you, Icy. Or at least on the Google side.
Wait, what the heck? Hold on. How about now? Check.
Yes, I can hear you.
Somehow my mic got disconnected there.
There you
okay.
Go.
Fascinating, interesting. I definitely want to talk more about the wallet stuff, and I also want to talk more about the smart raffles. But before we get there, just quick commentary. I mean, it's been cool to watch you build Kazuna because we would always talk, you know, your experience working with so many game studios in the space and seeing the disconnect between the studio and the community because you guys didn't have the tools that you wished existed. And seeing that problem so clearly and having the opportunity to go build software and a product that solves that is really, really awesome. So 2 questions here. One, I know you've put together a team at Kazuna. I'd love to share a little bit about like the architects and the rock stars behind the scenes there. And then I also want to ask you about, you know, some of the case studies that you guys have done on the on some of the games you've been working with. But first, let's hear a little bit about the guys working at Kazuna because I think it's really impressive.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know how I convinced them to come. A lot of them they're all wolves. Big shocker there. So I got to see them shine throughout the years and just be able to create like a dream team. And the first person that I really asked was Julia. So Julia was somebody that I saw as like a bright star. She came from Exterio, really great in terms of operations, and that was a gap for me. I'm not really good at operations. I've done in military, I can do them, but I'm not something that's natural for me. And so Julia was the first person I asked, like, hey, would you become a co-founder with me in terms of Kizuna? So she handles the day-to-day operations as well as BD, and also she's been coding in terms of that. So she's also our agentic coder on the back end to be able to provide support for some of the really cool tasks that we have. The other person that is a co-founder as well too is Lau. I call him Lao, as you know. He's the person that designed a lot of the Wolves logo. Anything that like has Wolves DNA in it, he is a person that has probably originated from it. And from that aspect, he's not really a designer from like a graphic designer perspective for us. He's our like UI, UX. And so the reason why everything looks so beautiful within Kizuna is because of him. He has this very eye for beauty and everything like that, which for me, I'm like, yo, just ship it. It's all good. It looks good. But Lau is like very much about, hey, what does a user feel right from the get-go? And that was always something that I didn't really understand to its fullest extent until he actually came. You're putting it up on stream right now. That's everything is his DNA in terms of what it looks like and the user experience from start to finish. And to be honest, he hates that it's even out because he wants everything to be perfect. And then the other people behind the scenes is our front-end dev, but also our CTO, which is Sky Buterman. He is somebody that is just very talented, 10 plus years in terms of coding front end, but he's a full stack dev. Has really taken to understanding what the product is. He's worked in advertisement before too. And so understanding some of the piping that we need to be able to do for Kizuna Network is very important. And then Sammy. So Sammy's been a
Sammy Bot Dev.
Sammy Bot Dev, dude. Me and him goes way back. We've been friends for 4 years, very similar to Lau. And he has created all of our backend system for that. And so to be able to create all of the Discord, the backends, making everything like cost efficient, which doesn't get a lot of, I guess, light for it because it's not something that you see day to day. But everything that we have in the backend is thanks to him. And also what's going to help us scale eventually is going to be Sammy. And then we also have a lot of other great people that signed on board with us, like, Zoe and Joel, who like does with content and stuff like that. They help me with my personal brand. And then Lems and Shasan, who are very critical in terms of understanding what products are. They use Alphabot, they're power users within Alphabot, and a lot of the raffle stuff and Discord bots. So having them and their expertise to give me backup for like, hey, this is what they do, this is all that stuff. And then Artemis for our writer. She's been fantastic in terms of being able to write for our Substack, but also for stuff. So it's a huge team. And I'm just very thankful for every single one of them. Not gonna lie.
I love that, man. I love that. Shout out to Doug Hype. Shout out to Katsu, AE in the chat. Love you boys. I want to ask Peyton, so what are some of the problems that you are seeing game, developers and projects have with their communities that, you're trying to, or that like Kizuna has surfaced? I know you've been working with some projects and doing some case studies.
Correct.
So I'm really curious to see like what has kind of emerged from some of these case studies that you've done.
So we had like a test pilot of around like 50 communities, and now it's up to around 70 that have just like kind of stumbled upon it. And when it came down to there's like 3 different elements or 3 verticals. One of them is the current bot and community dashboard software. Second is the helping of surge moments within like product feedback. And then the third is the Kizuna network, which is still in its infancy, but still very important. And we've seen a really good signs of life in terms of the conversion rates there. And I'll go over that in a second. The first one is like the community software. It surfaces like Discord activity and presence that is not available really from Discord. And so it surfaces it, but then is also able to do that. So they use it to surface and then also collect emails for like lookalike audiences for like Meta and Instagram and all that stuff. So very early stages. And then also I've been teaching a lot of creators on how to actually leverage their community to give them their email so you don't have as much platform risk, right? There's platform risk, there's algo risk. And so platform risk is like Discord, X,
You don't
YouTube,
gotta tell
all
me
of them.
about platform risk on Twitter, brother.
Dude, well, that's the issue, right? I see it's
Build a
platform
community,
risk,
they
but also-
said. It'll be fun, they said.
Dude, that's the issue, is that X and Twitter is not just a platform risk, it's an algo risk.
Mm.
And so there's a lot of different types of social media that has platform as well as algo risk. And that's YouTube has a platform as well as algo. There's almost like maybe 5%, 3% of your actual audience that is watching your content on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they've shedded that over the years, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to probably be to the point where it's going to be like, hey, you have to pay to see your subscribers,
Yeah.
which like, hey, like that's kind of the nature of what we've kind of given them the keys to the castle there. And so there's a platform and algo risk. Discord and Telegram, WhatsApp is just platform risk. Because like you don't really have an algo, you broadcast, and that it gets to the people that are currently within your setup, which I call the Gen Z email list, as it is. And then so that's like been very promising. There's like been streams of people, and there's some like word of mouth now coming from like the 50 people to now 70, which has been really cool because we haven't publicly released yet. And then the next one is like systematically going through and helping projects. And so one thing that we really picked up from our analytics was that we ended up going and helping people during Next Fest. So there is a people that we share, but I'm not going to name them, but like an extraction shooter that was last Next Fest, like in October, and we helped them systematically go through every single message and catch like priority, like super emergent. You should be focusing on this from a product perspective, and be able to assign them like a ticket of like, hey, this is super important. You should send this over to your engineers to be able to fix it. So we like rank them from like P0 critical issues all the way to, hey, these are actually nice to haves within it. It was so cool. And this is also, I want to give kudos to Julia, because Julia actually made this like agentic coder type of base using a lot of her like understanding of kind of going through line by line. So just props to her. So it runs message by message. And then it was really cool because there was like this one moment that it wasn't in a ticket. It was just like a general chat that says like, I accidentally hit the hood of this car and then my body went flying, LOL. And I was like, oh, that's actually a bug. We categorized it as a bug and put a P1 tag on it. And then it said like, it's actually a physics engine on truck bug. And it actually was given to the people. So it was really cool. So that's the second type of element that we do. So we help with surge and product feedback, because community and Discord is like a circular loop of, hey, play the game, give me feedback, and then be able to do it. And so we are super happy with that in terms of that product. And then the third product in which that we're working on is Kazuna Network, which has like been my like love, because Wolves, at the end of the day, I was super pumped to be able to create Wolves, but I never could like make money from like a creator standpoint. Like me and you can get paid as a creator. Like we got sponsored by Ready Up, viewership and all that kind of stuff. And Oliver actually was the person that kind of triggered my mind around this. Oliver was saying, you actually should people should be paying you to run a raffle inside of Wolves. And it completely changed the dynamic of what it was when it comes to community and what communities can actually produce from just like a subscriber base. And so that was like something that was really important to me. It was like, hey, actually, instead of being able to give whitelists and there's like the speculation driver where you should be able to mint at this price and then dump it on the secondary market, which I feel is a big issue for a lot of us when it came to Web3. That is something that I really wanted to do, which was like, hey, actually, how about if I pay Icy to be able to run a raffle inside of his community, and the community actually does an action, which is drive to a link, collect an email, do all that kind of stuff. And then what if you do that at scale? What if you do that with 30, 50, 60, 100 communities, which those 100 communities house thousands of people each. Yeah. So you're talking about like 1 million people reach. And that's really what Web3 taught us, all of us. And we never actually understood it from that way. We never thought about it from Alphabot being a actual road pipeline to all of these communities. AP Collective knew how to drive those roads and connect everybody. Kazuna, we want to build the roads and also be the connector. And that's ideally where we want to go.
I love that, man. Very, very exciting. Very cool.
Sorry, I talked for a long time.
No. You're cooking. I was also just like, dude, Peyton's looking good, man. I don't know the diet or the exercise.
I got a haircut for this.
You're
I got a
looking
haircut
good,
for this.
man.
Thanks,
bringing
man.
the Hawaiian shirt too, man.
I know. This is actually the Navy one.
Oh.
75th. Oh, not 75th. It's a lot older than that, but I think this was 75th anniversary edition or something like that.
I love that. Well, you're looking good, man. You're making
Thanks,
me
brother.
excited to see you next week.
Oh yeah.
And we got to talk about next week, but we're not there yet. I think the smart raffles are awesome, right?
Yeah.
I think, we always talk about building products and business ideas. And I'm always one for like killer app, like what's the killer feature, killer application of this. And so it really seems like you guys have stumbled onto something pretty clever with the smart raffles.
Correct.
So I would just love to kind of dive into that a bit more, kind of understand how you guys are thinking about it. Because again, I can speak from my own experience being in the Wolves and how that community is designed and built with culture, with, events, with leadership, but also the tooling side. And so, there are your power users and your golden cohort of people and, creating the piping and the plumbing to identify, your power users, identify QA issues and, bugs or things like that. I mean, it's all so, it's so obvious that it's like, man, why wasn't it done before?
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to talk more about the smart raffles.
Yeah.
So like if a game wanted to come on and do one now, what does that look like? And, what kinds of, I guess, like, how do you think about rewarding community members over time and recognizing their contribution? And because I think that the smart raffles kind of play a role into that, or take that data and kind of put it in there. And I think that's like so brilliant. So I want to hear more about it.
Yeah, and this is also another lesson. Incentives in Web3 were extrapolated to it actually hurt the ecosystem. And so when it comes down to you had to be very careful when it comes to doing that. And so how do you be careful? That's actually why we ended up building out, which I don't like. We built out a lot of analytics that is already kind of built into Discord. But why did we have to do that? It was because we wanted to build an app on top of it. One of the big issues with raffles as it stands right now is that it doesn't actually feed into the community itself. It does roles and everything like that, but you have to be really on top of it from a community manager perspective of roles and all that stuff. And some of them are legendary, some of them are OGs, and some people have never messaged for a long time, which really, when it comes down to activity, that is what you want to facilitate within the Discord. And so when it comes down to it, there's 3 major gates within like smart raffles. The first gate is roles. You have to be able to do that. You need to respect the culture in which the community has already built. Yeah. Wolves, Cubs, dire wolves, any of that stuff. You need to make sure, like Icy has been every single GDC, every single live event in that which we have. He is very different from a person that's coming in as a Cub, even somebody that's very different from a Wolf that comes in and communicates. He is somebody that takes the extra step to go to a physical location, participate, and be with us like he's going to be next week. So that is something that you have to keep. And so you need to make a dynamic enough bot to be able to do that. So that is the roles. The second is actually the multiplier. And this is where I think is a huge part in which that we can only do because of the analytics. And so the multipliers are based off of messages, voice activity, and what's going to be done in the next week or so is game activity. And so the first multiplier that you can put on is messages. How many people in the last 7 days have put in messages? So you can make the threshold 25 messages, and then you can give them a 1.5x, a 2x multiplier on the tickets that they had to enter into it. The second is voice activity, because like people like 100x, for example. All they do is they stay in voice, right? And so you need to make sure that,
Doji's dojo.
You have to. I understand the culture. So the culture is very different in terms of all of these. So you have to give the mechanisms and the levers for the community leader to be able to move. So is it more of a message stuff or, is it more of a voice activity stuff? You want to give them that. The major thing here that I feel as if is one of the biggest defensible moats for incentives is actually game activity. And so you can make game activity also part of the multipliers. So if somebody plays League or somebody plays Dota, it's very hard to fake the amount of hours somebody plays a game, right? So like, what are you going to do as a bot? You're going to go in and sit in all the lobbies for this long. It's very difficult to be able to do that.
Can I just comment on that real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
There are games in my Steam library where I'm like, ooh, like I wish I had more hours in that game. Like, I don't want anyone to see how few hours I have. And then I have like over 280 hours in Arc Raiders. And I say that with like shame because like I should have been working on Gaming Daily.
So does
and, like,
Gorilla.
Doing
just
other
so you
stuff.
know.
And I'm like, I am embarrassed about showing people how much hours I have in Arc Raiders.
Yeah.
But it is like that data is gold. 100%.
It shows that you're kind of human, right? So the more things that we want to hook up is to be able to really try to decentivize people to farm. And a lot of that is very hard to like farm. 280 hours in Arc Raiders is like, you love that game and you're playing it.
And I still suck at it.
Yeah, no,
dude,
you don't.
I'm so
He's not
bad,
that bad at it, guys.
I'm really bad, dude. It's embarrassing. Llama was asking me, why don't I stream it? And I'm like, dude, I actually
don't think he's that bad. Like I've played with him and he definitely holds his own. I'm the one that's getting revived because I'm just too aggressive. I'm just like, dude, I feel as if like, yo, I got a freaking ventilator and that's all I need. And so and that's really like, but that's what matters the most. And so our like heart for this is to make sure that people that are part of your community and are making your community useful and awesome, which is people that are in messages, that are in voice, that are playing games within your Discord, are actually being rewarded for it. So it's a retention mechanism as well too. And so you can give as many entries to the roles, you can give as many entries or you can give as many multiplier to the message, voice and stuff, ones that are contributing to your community. And then the third one is like for the community as well as the community leader, plus also the project that maybe you're going to be able to partner with. And so that's like collecting emails. So that helps you be able to de-risk that if your Discord ever gets shut down, hey, I can send an email to everybody else that was part of my community. And guess what? I got them back, at least some of them back, if you want to be part of whatever, X, Y, and Z. Or if you want to put that into Circle, or if you want to put that into, school. There's all of that email. And like email is like the bedrock of a lot of it. So like no matter if you have it, a Google Sheet with all of the emails that were part of your community is very important for you to be able to defend yourself in this age of platform risk and algo risk. And then the other one is like driving people to a link. So one of the things that a lot of our game studios really like is that we drive people to Steam wishlist, or if we drive them to a newsletter, or if we drive them into a site, or drive them to what we're going to be doing with Remix here soon is driving them to like a review for that. So that's something that's very important for us to be able to do. And more actions will come along. And that's what wallet addresses are next to, which is like collect a wallet.
Can we talk about wish list real quick? Because that seems to be such an important metric and conversion point for games. Why is that so? And like, how are you guys doing that with Kizuna? Is it the smart wallet feature or smart raffle feature kind of, taking those actions?
Yeah, so in terms of that, you can't really force people because like Steam is pretty strict on it in terms of that. Coming from Discord, it's probably not going to be flagged as an area in which that, we need to shut it down from this link. But like because it's a very fundamental metric for everybody within like Steam, everything's kind of built around it. So if 7,500 to 10,000 wish lists on Steam is where you become popular and upcoming on the Steam wish library. So some of the most important parts of your journey on Steam in terms of publishing is getting on your Steam wish list. Make sure that you have above 7,500 to 10,000. And then the other aspect is to be able to get on Next Fest or any of these festivals that are year round on your game. So it just like helps you become more aware. I will say it's a little bit more difficult nowadays because Steam wishlist is such a like known thing among circles. I think Steam is throttling a little bit and changing a little bit their algo. I think like there's just something that's a little bit different. And also that's why, but like Steam is a black box. Like you can't get any of it. So like if somebody's, for example, what I mean by a black box as just an illustration, if somebody wishlists you on Steam, you can't go into your Steam dashboard as the user. So let's just say Champions or yeah, let's just say Champions, because I love that studio that I was a part of. You can't go back there and look at the email that you just got. You could just see that there's wish lists. And so you got a number, but you don't know anything about that person. And that's like a big issue, in my opinion. And so when it comes down to it, like you don't actually own it. It's kind of like the platform risk here. And also Steam also has an algo risk as well. As much as people think it's a private-based company, they have all the power in the world. All the gamers love them. So when it comes down to it, like we have to play by Steam's rule if you want to publish. Like Call of Duty and some of these major, like Blizzard, they've all bended the knee to Steam. It's like, hey, all the gamers are here. We're going to have to put and take that rake of percentage. And so what we wanted to do was that a lot of people within game studios are already sitting on a lot of data. So one of them is that they don't know that you can get Discord presence data. So all the gaming activity that happened, it's not available other than StatBot, but StatBot doesn't give you individual scores. And then the second one is that like there's no ability to be able to collect emails other than like Dino in terms of forms and stuff like that, but it's pretty clunky. We wanted to make sure that it was gamified. And that's, if anything, Web3 has taught us. It's the gamify things.
Absolutely, man. Real quick question, and then I want to move to GDC. But actually, two questions. I'm clip farming here.
Clip it, baby.
What makes a good community and what makes a bad community?
What makes a good community is active membership, right? And so it's the active membership is not led by one person. So this is something that I stumbled upon on accident, was that if you are the only planet where there's all the gravity is around you, that actually ends up becoming very much a dead community over time. You want to make sure, as your primary job as a facilitator and a community leader is not to make ties just to yourself, to make yourself so vital, is actually to connect ties to other people, in which that people show up to that community, not just for you. It's to show up for Julia. It's to show up for Sam. It's to show up for Icy. It's to show up for AE. It's to show up for Mount Doji. That if like that party actually has one of those people in it, which I call planets, people of influence, then the party will keep on going without pain, right? So like that is the main target for a good community versus bad community, is that if somebody leaves, is there still facilitation of it? Leadership is always needed. So I want to make sure that this is not like, oh yeah, well, let me just put like 2 or 3 people in place. I didn't like really give up any reins until like 2 years in. And so there's a lot of massaging that needs to be done in terms of setting culture, setting different types of events, setting rituals, all of that stuff to make sure that people are put into an environment like, hey, is a beacon. So first and primary like job as a community leader and a maker of a community, you put about a beacon, and it needs to have values. It needs to have people like, I made Kaizen, I made family, I made all of that. That was actually at the bedrock of all of Wolves. And so whenever you set that beacon out, it starts attracting people. And then once people are attracted, you have to delegate, which is like probably the hardest thing, is like, hey, what does Wolves look like if I give up some of my agency to run this thing to Sam, to Spark, to Julia, to Icy? And that's whenever some people are like, oh, Icy's kind of in charge of this thing. Let me talk to them. And then there's like orbit around you, which makes the community and the tribe a lot more defensible. So I think like what makes a good community is that there isn't just one person of influence that makes or breaks the community. It's somebody that like has facilitated a culture of people that come in and help communicate with each other. That's why moderators, community managers are such a huge vital part of every like gaming community. That's why there is that job function, because you need at least one planet, you know.
Clip it. I love it.
Good
stuff. Good stuff. Beautiful. Left curveball for you a little bit. I know you've been heads down building in Kizuna, and running Wolves and you know life. But I know you'll always have roots in crypto gaming, and I know you
1000%.
I know you see what's what's going on.
Yeah.
And so how are you feeling about the state of crypto gaming 2026? What is kind of your outlook?
Yeah.
What do you got to say about the space and the industry? How you feeling about it when you see things that are going on?
I think I want it to like die in a lot of ways. So like in And what I mean by that is like I want it to reset. I think the expectations for venture capital, which like honestly, Fableborn's one of the last, right? And which is sad, right? So like there's venture capital that have come in and be able to interject into this space for money. And so like there wasn't anybody other than like really Axie. You can argue Cambria. Cambria was very smart in terms of how they chain hopped and all that stuff and be able to keep alive as long as they did and still remain the agency in which that they have because there's not the pressures of venture capital to launch a token and be able to make money off of that token for that. And I think there's that aspect that I think is very difficult, which is like I saw on the back end of the pressures of venture capital. It's there's a pretty big demand. And it keeps up CEOs, it keeps up all that stuff. Always be raising is always their thing. And I think like when it comes down to pressure, like I think a lot of these founders looking back at it kind of understood and saw the writing on the wall, but like we're kind of already in the legal dynamics of like I have to launch a token or there might be some legal complications that I can't even fight, right? So I'm not even trying to stand up for them, but I think that's like where there's learnings that kind of came in and we're like, well, the train's already left the station. Yeah. So I kind of have to keep on going. And we're kind of seeing all of those collide into like all of them left the station at the same time, right? And some people's runway was longer.
And crashed into the same wall over and over.
The same wall. Like, and that's unfortunately what it ended up being. But like all of them, everyone knew the wall was coming. Yeah. It's like, I can't get off. There's these tracks. I'm sorry, guys. And ended up like slamming into a wall. And so one of the things that I'm like super excited about is like the innovation that happens when people don't have that pressure. And with the also age of coding, can you see this thing of like Icy making a game that also implements like NFTs or whatever? And I think this is like something that is something really beautiful in my opinion, where there is this Claude Code, OpenClaw, any of these people, software is trending to zero, right? So the cost to be able to create software, and like Naval says this really well. He says that like it didn't make sense before to be able to make things for the total addressable market being very small, because the cost was too expensive, and that is no longer the case, right? Like Icy can make a game in 2 to 3 weeks, especially in like 6 to 7 months, and you can make it for a target audience of 300 people. And that is sustainable, right? And that is like where I think niche software starts to become really very fascinating. And I don't know if you want to take it this direction, but like niche software, in my opinion, is going to be the same equivalent of like niche content, right? So like niche content was like, hey, the riches are in the niches and all that stuff. Like OpenAI, OpenClaw, all of those guys are going to eat up everything else in terms of like software. Right. But the niches are going to be where like, hey, I made a website where it also has a software to ping you whenever things are happening within Web3 gaming, and you can go into the play to earn tournaments, and that's gaming daily. And the cost in which that it took you is a subscription to Claude Code or a co-founder that is very technical. And that cost is not the same of a 6 to 7 month development cycle. That cost is a month of your time, very similar to like a video. Can we make something out of it that is able to make money, get some users, funnel them into the next thing, funnel them into the next thing? And now you have a snowball effect of people that are your users, very similar to like your viewers, and are going to follow you. And that's why I think it's so important I think the age of the tribe is here. If you can get a tribe and they can carry you on and 1,000 true fans, man, I think you win long-term for sure. And so now it's the time to be able to make your tribe and move and continue on and capture them, right? And I think that's important.
I love that, man. I mean, speaking of tribes, we got to talk about the tribe next week.
Tribe of Wolves.
Going to GDC. This will be the fourth consecutive GDC for me, seeing you back to back to back to back. The third Wolves Den GDC activation, scaled back a little bit from the
definitely
the
peak. we have to like, I think we do a disservice to the space if we run it back to like how he was. Like, we're not in the same position that we were last year, and we're a lot more humble. in terms of like, hey, our thesis didn't play out. let's do it. So like we're not like in that mansion. We're like definitely in Airbnb. We're a little bit more softer in terms of that stuff, but like the people are always the matters.
Man. It feels
back
good
in the
to be back in the
baby,
trenches, you know?
And it is really what it comes down to. And so we need to make sure that we adjust accordingly. And so yeah, that's what it is.
Very cool, man. Well, it's still great to see the Wolves having a presence at GDC and putting on events, right? Because it's not easy. And for something, you know, I have the privilege of seeing behind the scenes and just knowing how special grassroots events like this are, because, you know, I mean, I think you're comfortable with me saying this, like it almost didn't happen. There were conversations about like, do we even go this year? Does it make sense? I mean, yeah, luckily,
I can speak to that. Like a lot of it comes down to like San Francisco is extremely expensive, right? So like when it comes to a business expense, like at the end of the day, like Wolves is where we're going and to support the founders. And so there wasn't a lot of founder presence there. And so in terms of conversations, we were like, who's going? And also when it comes to Wolves, who is wanting to be able to go to GDC? And there wasn't that big of a turnout. Like, if I'm being honest, it was just the core people. And one of the things that we were going to do was just like, I was going to go for Kazuna anyways, because I need a BD. But like, it was just like, hey, we can also cover it in Wolves. But then whenever we kind of announced that, like, at least some of us will be there, that's whenever people started kind of coming out with like forecasts. Origins was thinking about going out there, and we just kind of like made a final push. And OpenSea, as me and you know, are just amazing champions of every single thing that's happening in crypto. And so that was one thing that Oliver and I called, and he's like, hey, yeah, we'll support you guys in terms of that. We're like, heck yeah, let's run it back. Again, like I said, run it back in a very small thing. Like in terms of the events, we used to have like 20 something events. We're only like putting on like 4. So it's adjusted for sure.
As a content person, I'm very relieved by that.
Yeah, no, I know. I see almost didn't come, and I said, hey, there's only 4 events. I think I can make it out.
So let's talk about these incredible events, man.
Yeah, please.
We got the GDC scheduled next week.
Correct.
We're going to have a Wolves private dinner on Monday.
It's probably moved to Friday.
Oh,
so it's already hot update. There's a lot of people are like, I'm not even in Monday.
Love it.
So I was like, okay, let's do Friday.
Well, let's go through each event one by
one.
Please.
Tell
me about the partner. Tell me about the event that they're doing.
Yes.
And why. Starting off with Forecast. Who is a partner on Gaming Daily? So big shout out to Forecast.
Yeah, Chris has been obviously a huge friend of ours for a long time. It actually, it was a head nod to him in 3XP, which was actually the first like Wolves house ever, which was like everybody at 3XP. And we ended up kind of getting a Airbnb that all the Wolves were like, hey, like, yeah, I want to come. And that was the first place. So Chris was like, hey, do you guys want to do something with us in GDC? I was like, yeah, sure, man. Like, let's do it and then figure it out that. And so we're doing a dinner with them, be able to like kind of get some people. It's like super casual, but like good networking in terms of that. Wednesday, we're doing a Origins tournament. For that, that's going to be streamed on Wolves as well as like the DCC Twitter account, and we're gonna like really showcase the game as it's pure beauty, right? Like Origins in terms of the announcement, all the new characters. It's just honestly, I cannot wait for that. Sam's gonna try to win again, so I'm gonna be running production, so I won't be playing. That's the reason why Sam's gonna win. No, I suck at TCG. So and then Thursday YGG play, which like who doesn't love YGG? And so we're going to be playing Waifu Sweeper as well as Gigabat, Chad Bat in terms of that. So we got Dub and Doug to be able to do that. And so we're actually going to stream that on OpenSea, really support them in terms of getting the
waifus are hitting the OpenSea. You love to hear it.
Dude, I can't wait, dude. And yeah, hopefully my wife doesn't watch that stream. And then Friday, we got we have like a very like cool initiative. It's very aligned with like OpenSea in terms of collectors and booster packs and all that stuff. We're going to be ripping slabs in terms of Pokemon, doing some giveaway stuff. And so we're going to be streaming that on OpenSea GG as well too. So that's like really the week of events. And then obviously I want to give a shout out to Immutable. There's one on Thursday for Immutable for them. They're going to be doing a dinner and all that stuff. Nice. Tuesday also, unfortunately, of course, we landed on the same day. Dave from eFrontier as well as
Yes.
Sweet Play.
Yeah.
Those guys are going to be having an event on stuff. So there is going to be some presence. You'll see some of ours. Doi Kim from Cross, they have a booth at GDC. We just got from Koji. Koji is going to be at the Google Play booth at GDC if we're playing Colony.
Nice.
So really, really cool stuff that there is going to be a presence there. And so we're going to make sure that we cover it, like just because these guys are on the like agenda doesn't mean that we're not going to cover it. Icy is going to be there for Gaming Daily. I'm going to be there for Kazuna. We all have our personal brands as well too, and we want this to win, right? So we're going to make sure that if you're there and you're covering and you claim crypto in any sense, if you just whisper it on the side of your mouth, we're going to cover you for GDC. And so man, I can't wait for it for that.
Awesome, man. Yeah, no, that's what Wolves are about. That's what the community is about, showing up for each other. We're all trying to like forge this new path and pioneer it in many ways. And it's really refreshing and energizing when you see the people who are like, you know, in the trenches with you, showing up time and time again. So, you know, Koji being a part of the Google Play booth just makes me feel that Oliver showing up. I mean, Oliver just shows up for everybody, which is amazing. And that's what the Wolves do, right? You know, you, Sam, setting that culture and leading by that example. So I'm excited, man. It's gonna be another one for the books. Be a good time. I'm also looking forward to it being like calmer, so we can kind of chill as well.
Yeah, I think, exactly. It's good. It's very important too, to be honest. Like a lot of us have gotten beaten down.
Yeah.
Just be honest, you know, so it's good to be able to like, you know, also be that emotional support for each other as well too. It's just one of those things is like, we love each other, and that's like what makes Wolves special. Yeah, is that at the end of the day, like we're gonna show up for each other. And so excited for next week.
I'm certainly excited for the Project O now Origins tournament. They had their debut tournament at the Wolves Den GDC event last year. So for them to be back as they're getting closer to launching, I know they did their town hall today. I'm gonna have Tim on tomorrow. We're gonna talk more about that, but just like, I mean, that's what it's about, man. It's a bunch of gamers in a room competing, talking trash. Like, you know, the moment's going crazy. Sam was locked in on another level. Like I've never seen him locked in before.
Dude,
for last year's tournament.
He's gonna be locked.
So
and he's still competitive too. Like, see, he's gonna try to win back to back.
Of course he is, and I hope that he does win, because I fear what will happen if he doesn't.
I think, like, dude, there's a lot more people that know about Origins. I don't know who's coming.
Mason and Ali might
Gorilla's
be
coming.
there. Gorilla's coming? Let's go. That's awesome. Well, then,
little bald ape.
I mean, then we're playing Arc Raiders at night, right?
He told me that, like, I'm gonna try to do some touristy stuff, but I don't know, man.
He'll be at the den playing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like shove the gaming PC in front of him and have Arc Raiders loaded, and he's gonna be like, oh, all right, who needs to see the Golden Gate Bridge?
Oh, dude.
Yeah. So he's excited, and so he's gonna be staying with you guys. I'm gonna be staying at Kazuna House with like Julia and some other people, like Jace. I think in our house it's Julia, Jace, Freds, Trike, as well as another person that's very important.
Awesome, man. Well, very, very exciting. Is there anything that you want to close out the stream with? Anything that, you know, you want people to know? What's coming up next? Tune in to the events next week. Follow Wolves, follow Kazuna.
I think it's just mostly that. Like, we're gonna be launching Kazuna when we come back from GDC. I think for me, it's like a love letter to Web3. It's everything that like Web3 made me. So like in terms of that, like it's gonna be free. And I think like I'll say it here because like my team has advised me not to do it publicly for a release, but like I think some of the Discord bots have overstretched in terms of the pricing and for the state of which Web3 is at. And so instead of squeezing the last parts of it, you should probably try to keep it and survive it. So that's really what we're wanting to do with Kazuna, is to be able to provide it for free. And because I think that a lot of the software is going to be trending to zero anyways, it's like it might remain free just for the fact. And I think distribution is going to be our play there. Also want to give a big shout out to K and AE. going over here and putting on my streamer hat for a second. Doug Hype in the building. Jorge, I appreciate you. Glover, if you're still here, I love you, brother. And then, yeah, Katsu. Dude, what's up, Katsu? And then, yeah, Nick Light, thank you also for showing up. But I appreciate every single one of you guys.
Dude, Llama, we got to shout out
me.
Llama, man. Llama's been a day one homie of the Gaming Daily Live, showing up
The
to
Llama.
every single stream. Since, like, the second or third stream. The homie's been
I
a
see
real
poker.
one. I know. Llama's been real, man.
Is that the guy that I met in San Francisco?
No. Llama's new to the community. No, Llama's new
let's
to the Gaming Daily
go.
Live. Like this show in
Llama.
2026, Llama's been pulling up.
Emoji.
And he's a hardcore gamer, man. Knows a lot about the gaming space. Knows a lot about the crypto gaming space.
Love it.
So it's been really cool to build with Llama, Batops, of course, Doji. I mean, the community's always been real strong.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone was really excited when they heard Peyton was coming back on
Thanks,
the
man.
show, which has been really, really fun. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Llama also was asking for like to see samples of Kazuna. So I think you do that maybe in the Discord, which would be cool.
Yeah, for sure. It's free. It's available now. If I'm being completely real, like it's people are stumbling upon it. I just want to make an actual go to market on it. So Kazuna.gg is where you can download it. It's like it's very live. So in terms of that, you'll start populating your dashboard and tell me how it is in terms of the onboarding and all that stuff. Like don't tell Lau. And yeah, just tell me and I'll do it. But I also just want to say a big shout out to Icy and thank you, brother, for just always being a good friend and doing this and giving me a platform to be able to speak on this stuff. Like it's very, it means a lot to me. And then also just, your positivity and all that stuff. I know a lot of people don't know all the stuff that's handling behind the scenes as well too, but this man is showing up even when, his life is sometimes not as favorable as you want it to. So thanks for showing up always, man, and being a rock for a lot of us.
Right back at you, man. You've always been my rock as well and always shown up for me. So I appreciate that. I texted you and Sam on Sunday. I'm like, can you guys come on the show this week? I'm like,
yeah,
it'd be really good to have you guys on.
You do.
So
anytime.
Yeah, no, this is great. We got to do it more often and can't wait to see you next week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Dude.
Thank you so much. Oh, Ice and Dark. Shout out Ice and Dark, brother. Actual day one.
Yeah, sorry, I'm only
back
looking at the
Ice
X.
Poker days. So I appreciate you there, brother. But Peyton, I love you, man. We'll drop you off the stream now. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, we are back here. That is Peyton Kaleva-Heya, patron of the Pooches, K9 of the K9s, and my former co-host, but always beloved friend, man. W Peyton in the chat, man. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. That's gonna do it for the episode today, guys. Banger episode. I really liked the format. Let me know what you guys think about it. Of course, we got to thank Waifu Sweeper. I do think, listen, Peyton and I could talk for hours, so we went a little bit longer than I expected, but that's what we do. That's how these interviews kind of go. You're just having a good time with the conversation. I do want to get better as a host and ask better questions and guide the conversation better. So that is something that I'm working on. So I appreciate y'all. We'll go on this journey together of becoming better interviewers. But yeah, man, love Peyton. I really enjoyed the first half hour. I feel like that went smoothly, kind of reviewing the news. I have to find the right balance between like getting the news done, but then also being ready for when the guest is backstage. I keep getting like nervous that I have to like finish the news and like time it perfectly, but that's just not gonna be the case. And so I think we have to get comfortable with like them being backstage, and then, giving proper due to the news stories, and then bringing them on stage when we're done. Because I don't want to rush it, or I don't want to rush it and then them not be backstage. So we're working on that. I mean, this is just like behind the scenes stuff, but I wanted to share it with you guys. With that said, guys, I like the format. Quick covering the news, talking about like 6, 7 of the top stories, and then kind of getting into the interview. The plan is to bring on, some heavy hitters like Peyton, like Justin Waldron. I mean, we've had some really big heavy hitters so far. Tomorrow, I'm really excited to talk to Tim Yoista from Project O Origins. They did a banger 2-hour town hall today. I was in it for the first hour, and I've got a bunch of questions. The economy that they've designed is super fascinating, so cannot wait for tomorrow's conversation. Sam on Thursday, and then it'll just be us on Friday. Guys, you have been electric as always. I can't thank you enough for just being awesome in the chat. I promise you tomorrow I will get the chat on the stream. I didn't like the layout. I got it on the stream today, but I didn't like the layout of it. So I got to work on it a little bit, but we will get there. And yeah, big shout out to Waifu Sweeper and YGG Play. Llama, seems like you're having login issues, so I'm sorry to hear that. I'll try and check that out and see if I have issues. I know I got in before, but it might be one of those things where like you need an NFT or something, which would be annoying, but we'll see. Guys, with that said, stay humble, keep gaming, keep dreaming, keep being awesome out there. Appreciate you guys every single day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
These are facts.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies.